I've got a big thing with this. Boiling taps, when you turn them on, they spurt. So if you're holding a cup underneath the tap there and turn it on, they spray. Because it's under so much boiling pressure, it sprays and spurts. So if you're holding a cup there, it's gonna burn all around your hand. To be honest, these cheaper ones, they're all right. If you look up here on the flexes, they are leaking. So it's coming from the tap. The tap's loose as well. Right, I've just been through this with the customer. It's not the most expensive one, so it is quite rudimental with the boiling pipe here for the water, obviously your feed there. You've got your cold pipe work that's going into a T here that then feeds for the filtered water, and then it feeds for this tank. So it is what it is. There's no way of sort of making that look nice. It don't look great, but as I always say on this channel, it's real world plumbing. The customer supplied it, we're fitting it, it is what it is. However, the good thing with these is, right then, another little jobbing job on the channel. This one is, this is a hot water tap, and they're replacing it with an instantaneous hot water tap with filtered water on. The reason being, this has been in for that long, it's stopped working. I don't know what make it is, to be honest. There's no make on it. Boiling hot water tap company, whatever it is, it's no longer working. It hasn't worked for a while. And also, if you look up here on the flexes, they are leaking. So it's coming from the tap. The tap's loose as well. So that's probably part of it. So what we're going to do is completely strip all of this out, and then I'm just going through what we've got in this kit. I don't know the make of it. It says the range is Elise, whatever that is, I'm not sure, but customer supplied this, and we've got a hot water tap along with a filter tap. We've got 3 pipes coming off the bottom, which I'll go through, and then obviously our hot and cold that are going to go straight into the tap and then straight off the main. I'll talk you through that as we're doing it, and then obviously the filter for the water there as well. But going through the instructions, it looks quite complicated with everything coming out of it, but I think once we get into it, and once we've got the tap in place, the hot and cold's off the tap, and then the other one's connected into this unit, I don't think it'll be too bad. Famous last words, touch wood. But yeah, we'll have a look, see what's going on with it. But first of all, I'm just going to get the water off and strip out the tap, this unit, and get everything out and have a little bit of a clear space so we can see where we're at and go from there. So we start off by getting the isolation valves off underneath the tap. Luckily, they turned off okay. Sometimes, as I'm sure you're well aware, the little ball bearing in the middle of an isolation valve, when you turn it horizontal, begins to leak. Luckily, these ones were as good as gold. Then we have to get the unit out, so we just take the connections off the top. These rubber hoses can be a right pain, but this one wasn't too bad at coming off. Well, while you're here, why not just hit that subscribe button? It doesn't cost anything to be subscribed to a YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button and you're not going to miss any of the content that's coming up. We've got some good stuff coming along. So as you can see with this tap, I'm trying to get both of the flexi hoses out through the same hole, along with everything else that's got to come out. So I end up undoing one of them. I'm sure we've all done it. Undoing one of them, poke it down, and then hopefully you've got enough room to get it all out. There we go, all stripped out now. I've taken the unit out, the tap out, the pipe work. Obviously the tap's come out the top, the pipe work from under here. So what we're left with is the hot here on the left and the cold on the right. So what we're going to do is make the tap up, get the tap in. Now what you've got on this one is the bolt that holds the tap in to position, but also that is it's got it on it, water to boiler. So that's the feed that goes to this, but it also doubles as the bolt that holds the tap on. So we'll make that in, get the bottom sort of cover plate on there as well, and we've got all the brackets for the tap there. So we'll get that in and then we can work from that, because obviously the hot off the tap can just directly connect to the hot. That's for the hot water, not the boiling water. Obviously the cold, where is it? There's a T. So this, I think we're going to have to come off the cold feed for that and then it's going to go off then to feed the unit and then up to the tap. But we'll get the tap in first and work back from there. So as you can see through the bottom, you've got silicone hose, a white one and a blue one. Assume they're all factory set. I'll have a double check in the instructions. You've got a C on it for cold. I don't know if you can make that out. C in there for cold, H for hot, B for boiling. So I'm going to say it's that one. And then we can just give it, where's my little tiny grips? We can just give it a little tighten up with that there. So that's our boiling tap. Let's get our hot and colds in. And because with these there's no way to get a spanner on to tighten them up. It's just hand tight for the hot and cold, because there's nothing to put a spanner on to get it nice and tight. But there's a lot that has got to feed in through our hole for the tap. So let's see what we can do. There we go, tap is in, and I've just connected the hot braided hose, flexi coming off the bottom onto the feed for the hot there. So that's that bit done out of the way. We'll get the cold sorted now, and then we can look at mounting the unit here and work out what's got to come off there, and then also that boiling feed that is in the bottom of the screw, where you can see you can just about make it out under there. It's a little bit tight, but I'm sure we'll get to it. So then this is the little nut that goes on the bottom of that feed that's also working as a bracket, and if you can see it, there's a tiny little black olive in there. So that's got to screw up all the way into the bottom. I can show you of that locking bolt up there. See if I can get that done. So this is becoming a bit of a faff, to be honest. We've got the cold now connected in here. I've come up on a female iron to copper. That's the only one. I was trying to look for a straight, but I only had a bent one in the van, which is fine because we had a T there. Off the top there for the cold. Now out of here, we've got to go. Let's have a look at my schematics. Into a T, then into the filter. But what I'm going to do before that is connect in the unit, because that's just this pipe here, this flexible pipe that goes on the top there for the hot. Get it on. That pushes right down there, and then we've got a little bracket there that will hold it on, and then the cold off the top of there, that's the filtered cold, I think. Is it coming round off up into the tap? Yeah, so we've got to go into there filtered and then off, but that is going to connect onto the bottom of there. So I've got another flexi that we're going to connect from the bottom of there onto there, and then that just leaves these two pipes here, which are for the water filter. So we'll get those connected on there, and then we'll sort that bit out. But yeah, it's a bit of a faff, and to be honest, these never look tidy because of, to be fair, they're probably a bit of a DIY sort of unit to fit in. It's all sort of push fit and cutting little bits of pipe off, but we'll get that connected and we'll see where we're at. So this hot water tap now is all in. Now I didn't film a lot of connecting it up because, to be honest, it was a little bit of a faff and I couldn't get into there to connect up to the back and all of that with the camera and all that sort of stuff. And it's not, right, I've just been through this with the customer, it's not the most expensive one, so it is quite rudimental with the boiling pipe here for the water, obviously your feed there, you've got your cold pipe work that's going into a T here that then feeds for the filtered water, and then it feeds for this tank. So it is what it is. There's no way of sort of making that look nice, and to be honest, I just didn't really want to get too involved with filming it because it don't look great. But as I always say on this channel, it's Real World Plumbing. The customer supplied it, we're fitting it, it is what it is. However, the good thing with these is, and you get it a lot with the cheaper sort of hot water taps, not boiling taps. Now, Kuka, I've got a big thing with this. Kuka boiling taps, when you turn them on, they spurt. So if you're holding a cup underneath the tap there and turn it on, they spray because it's under so much boiling pressure, it sprays and spurts. So if you're holding a cup there, it's going to burn all around your hand. Now these ones, because this one's running at, you can set the temperature, to be fair, it's at 98 at the minute, but you can 75, 85, 90, 95 and 98. When you turn this one on, I shouldn't really put my arm under it, when you turn this one on, it comes out at a nice stream of water. It doesn't spurt and cough and splutter everywhere like the Kukas do. So to be honest, these cheaper ones, they're all right. There's a few on the market. I've fitted a few of the Tri-Flow ones, they're really good. I'm not sure what make this is. There's nothing on the front to say what it is. I think that the customer bought it from City Plumbing as a sort of a 3-in-1 normal tap, because it comes with the tap, obviously the filter. So we've got filtered water here, that's filtered cold water. Then you've got obviously your normal cold water, your normal hot water, then pull it down, you've got filtered cold, which is quite nice, and then obviously turn that and you've got your hot. So yeah, it's just the way you have to pipe these ones up and connect these ones up. It's not great. It comes with most of the connections. We just had to put another braided, another flexi on there to make it reach without moving the unit that way. Not the neatest of installs, but it's Real World Plumbing. Give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, get subscribed to the channel for Real World Plumbing like this. I've always said, I'll always show stuff if it goes right, if it goes wrong. If you fit something and the customer supplied it like this, you can only fit what you've got to work with, if that makes sense. So it's got to be worth a subscribe. Hit the subscribe button.